Good morning, this is a social work 131 and we are already now in our week 10 of our knowledge and philosophical foundation of social work profession. Week 10. And let's talk about social work tools. So I believe we already discussed about yung the approaches and models of social work, and of course we still need tools in order so that we will become effective to use these tools and to implement these approaches. So I believe you will be effectively implementing those approaches and models if you know and how to have and to apply the social work tools. Social work tools, let us first define ano yung tool. It is anything regarded as necessary in the carrying out of one's occupation or profession. Example, if you say yourself that you're a carpenter, pero wala kang tools, even though ang galing mo, yung katawan mo naman hubog, para magpanday, without a tool, you really can't perform your job well. So we have here social work mean tools, interviewing, discussion and referral, and of course, case recording. Now, these tools require expertise in the application to be effective. Hindi porket alam mo na to, basic of this, you can say that you are effective. No. It needs expertise. That's why you really have to inculcate these tools, these skills. Okay? First is we have the interviewing. Okay? It is a set of verbal and non-verbal interaction, the main purpose of which is to gathering data information, which is in social work, data information or gathering information is so vital in terms of survey and of course in assessment, in order to decide of a course of action. A skill is listening. Kailangan dito ng skill of listening, of course, interpreting, and asking questions. So, dapat alam mo how to ask question that would lead. Kaya nga meron tayong tinatawag na social work is, in terms of communication, we have purposive communication. May purpose yung sagot, yung tanong mo. Okay, and clarify or elaborate the problem. There are times, class, na nagtatanong tayo sa client, tapos iba yung sagot ng client. And right now, we are going to clarify. Example, ito yung sinasabi mo ba? Ma'am, ibig mo bang sabihin is ganito? Ma'am, ito ba yung sinasabi mo? Ganun, kasi may mga client kasi sometimes, iba yung nasasagot. Maybe hindi naintindihan yung tanong. And alam natin, kung ano nasagot yung gusto natin, and we are trying to elaborate, clarify the things, okay? Providing data that will enable the worker to make a diagnostic assessment. Okay, so for further discussion of this, you can read the book of Mendoza, Social Work and Social Welfare 3rd edition. Nandito yun, okay? Itong mga ganito. And of course, we have the second one is the discussion. By the way, it is a type of informal conversation in which each individual in the group contributes his or her thinking and participate in decision making. The social work must ensure that everyone participates and involved in discussion towards decision making. Okay, discussing. That's that. Ano yung similarities between interviewing and discussion, by the way? First, it is that it involves two or more persons, of course, meron kang tinatanong, merong sasagot sa tanong mo. And there is a give and take between and among the participants. Hindi pwede na you just ask question, maghintay ka ng sagot niya, okay na to. No. It must be give and take, okay? Communication is both verbal and non-verbal, especially in social work and gathering data. Hindi mo lang obserbahan dyan kung ano yung sinabi niya. There are times that you are really trying and would look the body language of your client so that malaman mo kung nanloloko ba siya or hindi, okay? They both have a common purpose. First, to reach some kind of understanding or decision making or to gather data. And both may be formal or informal, planned or spontaneous. Goals may be either immediate or long-term goal. Depende. Okay? Depende sa data. And of course, we have referral. And I believe we already heard these things. But by the way, the process by which a client is helped to move on to another resource for service. And I believe, alam natin yung kaibahan ng referral and transfer. Reasons for referral, ang dami, first of that, one of the most common is that no single agency can serve all the needs of the man in a complex society. So, there are times na even DSWD, nangangailangan pa rin ang tulong ng mga psychologists, medical doctors, na baka wala sa agency. So, it needs referral naman. But I think right now, class, nag-hire na rin yung mga DS ng mga nurse, psychologists, because they have the psychosocial division there. Implies knowledge, especially in CDO, Cagayan de Oro, meron sila doon, mga psychologists. And it implies knowledge of available community resources. The next one, and the fourth one, is the case recording. Considered as an indirect tool of social work intervention, it is an account of writing of the progress of case. So, iba po yung case study, okay, and case recording, okay? It can be process recording step by step, no? So, ano yung mga proseso pag may activity, pag may nangyari, you just record it, okay? Or condensed or summary recording. So, we have here, no, 4 purposes of case recording. First, it's for practice, no? So, kailangan natin to for practice. It's for administration to evaluate na sa mga responsibility, okay? And for teaching, no, and supervision, and of course, for research, of course, discovery of knowledge. Case recording versus case study. Ito na po yung sinasabi ko, okay? Many people tend to use the term case recording and case study interchangeably. Iba po to, okay? The first part of case recording is the case study, okay? So, ito palang case recording na sinasabi dito, it is broad. Kasi first part lang niya yung case study. Ang case study kasi it's more information lang. Yung case recording, hanggang implementation, even up to termination, nagki-case recording ka pa rin. Yung case study, sometimes sa assessment or before planning yan na nangyayari. Okay, yung case study before implementation. Yung case recording kasi class, no? Hanggang termination nangyayari yan eh. Yung case recording, okay? The casework pioneers divided social work practice into 3 phases. We have here that is study, diagnosis, and treatment. Case recording versus case study. The case study contains only the initial materials for study, okay? Diagnosis and assessment. While the case record is an account of all the case from the beginning to an end. Kaya kasi nasabi ko na yung case recording even up to beginning, which is kasali naman dyan yung case study kasi first part nga niya eh. And then up to termination, nangyayari po yung case recording. Talaga no, whether the client, individual, family, or community. Types of case recording, no? There are 3 major styles of case recording. We have the narrative. It's more on narrating. Process or condensed, summary recording, and of course, interpretative, diagnostic, and evaluative recording. Narrative style of recording, what's this? It is actually concerned with the reporting facts, narration. Condensed, ano yung type niya? Madala siyang types na condensed case recording. It is an abridged, compact version usually used for case conferences. B, process, a written description of the dynamic interaction that has taken place in an interview or a visit. Process recording, it contains the purpose of the interview, workers' observation, description, ang dami po, okay, of the intention, impression, workers' roles, and plan. Attention is directed towards attitude, behavior, and motivation. Summary recording, it is a review or a recapitulations of materials which has already appeared in the case record. Now, there are 4 types of summaries. Social history, periodic summary, transfer summary, closing entry, or summary. Okay, we have social history. Social history has 2 types. First is the socio-economic history, when the presenting problem involves economic survival, okay? The second one is the psychosocial or psychogenetic history. When the presenting problem involves impairment, it's all about psychosocial clinical functioning. Summary recording, B, periodic summary. It is made to cover a certain period of time. Okay? Periodic lang, no? During which the case is handled, applicable to long-term cases. And of course, we have transfer summary. It is made when the case is to be transferred. Okay? Gumagawa ka ng case summary. So, ito yung data ng kliyente. Ito yung case recording ko dito. Or is being referred, okay? Transferred, gamit to dito. And transfer, of course, in referral to another agency or to another worker. Summary recording, closing entry or summary focuses on the causes and results of the treatment of intervention. It covers the situation at intake, and the reasons involved, the problems that emerge, and treatment given, services extended or interventions made, the progress, movement, or change achieved, and the results or status of the case. We have interpretative or diagnostic and evaluative recording. This type of recording points out to the meaning of facts. Okay? Its significance lies in the social interpretation of the case by the worker. It carries, in fact, the worker's own opinion. Ano yung significance po? Bakit may gagawa tayo ng record? Actually, records, hindi lang naman to sa social work. Lahat talaga, ibig nga yung hindi mga professionals, they have records. Records are for professional use. They help the worker and the client assess the situation from time to time and to monitor progress. They are designed to help the worker in a realistic and practical way to serve the client's best interest. Of course, may record ka. There are times na may nalilimutan ka, chine-check mo yung record, mas nakakatulong ka or mas malaking probability no na okay yung ginagawa mo. And of course, we've done to that, no, the tools. We move on naman to the social work skills, okay? Social work skill may be defined as the social worker's capacity to set motion with a client interventive processes of change based on social work values and knowledge in a situation relevant to the client. Social work skills, no? According to Werner Boehm, who wrote that professional skill is expressed in the activity of the social worker, resulting from three internal processes. The first one is the conscious selection of knowledge pertinent to the professional task. So, dapat may knowledge ka. Actually, there are people, no, may mga tao naman na alam nila yung skills ng social work. Yung tanong ba, is it bounded to the knowledge of the or values the social work have? Wala. Hindi yan. Hindi naman bounded. Okay? Fusion of this knowledge with social work values. Okay? And of course, expression of this synthesis in professional relevant activity. Basic helping skills in social work. According to Naomi Brill, we have differential diagnosis, timing, focusing, partialization, establishing partnership, structuring, and case management in the Philippines. Ano yung differential diagnosis? No? According dito, lahat talaga iba-iba, lahat ng tao. Dapat yung diagnosis natin sa kanila is that iba-iba. Since isa dito, no, the principle of individualization. Kasi nga, there are times na, example, iba-iba ng culture. Okay? No two person is alike. Even twins, no? Different talaga. Timing, no? So, social workers on tempo. So, dapat din hindi medyo mabilis, hindi rin medyo mabagal yung pag-timing ng social work, no? So, I believe, no, relief delayed is a relief denied. Okay, so there are times na you really have to be on time, social worker. Focusing, no, I believe this is understandable. You really need to focus. Maybe there, as a dami-dami na problema ng mga Pilipino na tinutulungan natin, I believe no, hindi mo mapagsasabayan. Sometimes there are need of personalization. So you need to focus on thing na paragang you see as a threat. Focus is a key. Partialization, so sa dami-dami na problema, you partialize one thing one at a time para masolve natin yung buong problem, okay? Structuring refers to the ability of the worker to determine the setting and the boundaries that are conducive to the worker to be done. So, structuring, alam mo yung structure, rules, physical setting, processes, nakikita mo, ito yung problema, baguhin natin to, okay? Ganun yung dapat skill na meron social case management, no? It refers to the manner and timing and coordination with the delivery of social services by the worker para ma-deliver yan sa client. Okay? And we have now, no, the 7 is the establishing partnership. This includes skills in engagement, empathy, communication, and observation. Engagement, no, it refers to the period during which the worker begins to relate himself to the task at hand. Okay? So, engage. Empathy refers to the ability of the worker to put himself in the shoes of the client so that he can understand the thoughts, feelings, and behavior or even the situation ng kliyente. Okay? Communication, it's important kasi nga hindi pwede na hindi mo alam yung aspects of communication, no? I believe, no, meron yung isang kasabihan talaga na there are times na may mga problema nag-emerge, it's because of lack of communication. So, as a social worker, if you are an effective communicator, mas mapadali yung proseso and even ideas, okay? So, observation, of course, no? It's so important. And of course, we also have social work techniques. Social work techniques refer to the procedure by which skill is implemented. So, ano yung mga technique mo? Yes, meron kang skill of communication. So, ano yung mga technique mo dyan specific? We have the technique of small talk, support, through ventilation, reassurance, and installation of hope, up to conscientization. So, ano yung small talk, no? Refers to inconsequential conversation. It is usually used to break the ice, but in urgent crisis situation, this is not advisable. So, ginagamit lang sa, dapat tong ice, small talk, yung may mga kliyente na hindi kumikibo. Okay? So support through ventilation, you are going to encourage, to uphold, to sustain some aspect of the client, functioning his strength, no, so that his attitude, his eagerness to do something about his problem, no. So by allowing to ventilate, no, so ilabas mo, no, in-encourage natin yung client na magsalita, no, in-encourage natin sila na ibuhos nila yung kanila, okay, and instilling hope to them, okay. And of course, we have reassurance and instillation of hope. This involves reassuring the client that the situation in which he is struggling has attainable solution. Exploration, no? It is the use of explicit necessary information. So, in-explore mo pa, hindi yung mataphaw lang yung alaman ng information. You are going to explore. Hindi ka lang, you are not contented. Baka meron pa deeper problems ng kliyente. Okay? Clarification, no? It is to make a point understandable. Education and advice, no? Or advice giving or counseling. There are times talaga in social work, actually, what the role of social work is an educator. You are going to teach your client, no, maybe in seminars, and advise them, no, to stimulate the client's thinking and feeling. Universalization, no, it is the utilization of commonality of human experiences and strengths of others to cope with situations similar to those. So, pag may nakita kang kliyente na universalize siya na kaya mo to, okay? Kung kaya nila, kaya mo to. Ganun, no? So, reward and punishment. So, there are times talaga na you have to really reward your client. And at some point, you have to praise them. Ipupurihin mo rin sila. And sometimes then, you really have to punish them. Hindi naman yung punishment talaga na, yun namang constructive na punishment, papagalitan mo sila. But not to the point na mapapahiya sila. Okay? It's constructive, whether it is reward and punishment. And of course, role rehearsal and demonstration. It is stimulated situation. Let's pretend or role play. Ganun, no? Para talaga yung client mag-assume to develop the feelings that he is in the actual event. So, ginagamit po natin to, no, in terms para malaman natin yung nangyayari sa client. Okay? Of course, confrontation, no? Sometimes face-to-face ng hard facts, no? Lalo na sa mga client na sobrang stubborn. No, in-encourage mo na, tigas pa rin ang ulo, hindi nagbabago, no? So, there's a need for confrontation. So, advice ko lang, no? If you are going to confront your client, no? First is confront him personally, privately. Pag matigas talaga ang ulo, there are times na face-to-face. No? So, sometimes, no? Kasi destructive kasi yan, lalo na pag may iba. So, conflict, no? It is a type of stress produced when a person is motivated by two or more needs in such a manner that the satisfaction of one need mean the satisfaction of one another. So, meron conflict. Dapat alam din natin social work kung may conflict na bang nangyayari sa grupo natin. Okay? And of course, manipulation. So, don't be confused. Hindi ka po nagmamanipulate. It's not exploitation, no? No, it means skillful management of events, no? Environmental or manipulation, such as when a child is removed from the troubled home and when placed under temporary. So, you manipulate, no? Change mo yung atmosphere, no? To manipulate constructively and positively without exploiting, okay? Not necessarily that when we are manipulating, we are exploiting others. Andragogy, it is an art or conscious of helping adults to learn. Conscientization, no? It means the awakening of one person to positive self-concept in relation to the environment and society through the liberating education which treats learnings as active agents rather than passive recipients. Okay, so that would be all and thank you.